Aloha and welcome to a special solo episode of the Sick Burn Podcast. As Mental Health Awareness Month comes to a close and we wrap up the first 3 months of this show, I just wanted to hit pause, reflect, and say some things candidly, like thank you. Before we dive in, if you've been moved or inspired by any part of this journey so far, please take a second to like this episode or subscribe on your favorite platform and share it with someone who might need it. It really helps us keep growing with this community. Now, this episode is all about what's possible when you choose to show up, share our stories, and lean into the hard stuff with some heart, humor, and hope. Let's talk about the journey so far and what's coming next. So as I was saying, I just wanted to really share a genuine, heartfelt thank you to all of you who've supported the show for the first 3 months. It's just been crazy. It's been overwhelmingly amazing. I feel so blessed and lucky by all the response from all of you out there. And, you know, it's when I first started this and came up with the idea and started reaching out to people about doing it, I really didn't know the reach that it would have, but I just knew that it was something that was on my heart and that I would hopefully help other people going through hard times. And I just got to say, like, it has not only just helped me in so many ways selfishly, but I do feel like I'm getting a lot of message and outreach from all of you, just showing that it is maybe adding a little brightness and a little lightness to your life. And I just feel so grateful, so thankful. And the people I get to work with here at Voice and Video and the way my family and friends have showed up, it's just been a true blessing. So none of this would have been possible without you. And I just know we're just getting started. So we're here again in Mental Health Awareness Month. And when I was growing up, I never could have thought that this would be something that would be something I would speak about in general, let alone on the internet or publicly to people. Of course, this accident, if you've listened to the episode with Christina and I, which was another just amazing experience, not just because it turned out to be what I think is a good episode, but it also got to be this amazing experience with my wife. But there was a lot of catharsis in there. There was a lot of me being able to share things that I had held in for years at this point. And it was just a very lucky, amazing moment. And I think the more I kind of lean into this idea of what mental health is and how do we achieve good mental health, there's obviously not being a mental health professional. There's a lot I need to learn, but there's a lot I think that is experienced. And there's something great about exposing what's going on in between our ears that so many people can relate to. I know that I can, and I find a lot of comfort in hearing other people's stories, and let alone, being able to speak to the guests that I've had on the show. So it's been really incredible. It's something that is near and dear to my heart in so many ways, from my own depression to my own suicidal thoughts to my own just experience as a human. And I think we're all going through it. I think the more we learn every year, the more we understand what mental health really is and what it's not. And how do we improve it? How do we take those moments to better our mental health? I think that physical health obviously is so important, but just there's a different facet to what we have to deal with, getting out of the jungle and out of the fields and being the hunter-gatherer to living in a modern world where there's so much information and there's so much that we are responsible for at any given moment, and so much we're connected to that we have to answer again and show up for. So I just feel very honored and lucky to be in this space, and this is something I want to keep championing for the rest of my life. And I hope that you, as a listener, are getting something out of it. Hopefully it makes you feel a little bit more comforted about what's going on in your own life with your own mental health. And I want to be a resource here for all of you to be able to express it, to show up the way that you are, to not baby you or talk down to you or make people say things they don't want to say, but just show up with what's truly on your heart and what's on my heart, and then be able to kind of just lift us all up together and just really get strong in a very healthy way. So one thing that this podcast has shown me which I kind of knew, but it just hits you like a ton of bricks, is the power of storytelling, especially when it comes to mental health and recovery. Like, I know that I have kind of a crazy story, but I knew that none of this would be possible, and I wouldn't be able to put all the words that were in my head and on my heart out there unless I was able to share it with other people who had also recovered from something and had moved past it and have, quote unquote, maybe healed through a lot of it. And so I think that there's an inherent story in all of us. The things that make books fascinating to read, or movies fascinating to watch, or shows, all of these things are about us overcoming something, the hero's journey, from starting from a place of I can't overcome to then growing and achieving things that they never thought were possible. I see it in my guests. I see it in daily life. And I just wanted to share some of that with the rest of us. And, I know not every story hits everybody the same. There's certain things that really speak to me, I think, in all of my guests, but in different ways in my life. And so I want to be able to provide that for all of you as well. Again, maybe not every story hits you, but I think that all it takes is one story, one line, one message from one of these guests. And I know it can change not only your day, but maybe your week and maybe your life. And just hopefully we can start changing some of those negative habits in our own head, those thoughts that keep us down, and just start altering it so that you can live a happy, more fulfilled, more successful life in whatever way that means for you. What have I learned about this podcast in the last 3 months? Well, selfishly, I'll kind of start there. One thing I've learned is that I'm able to go to places that are a lot more vulnerable. I'm able to kind of sit with things that, I know that some of these conversations can be really tough. Again, I'm not a therapist, but I know the dark thoughts that I've had. I've known the negativity that's circled around in my brain, and seeing it from someone else's perspective, seeing it and hearing it come from their own mouth has really just allowed me to kind of dive deeper into my emotions and things that I was kind of ashamed of or wanted to keep hidden. And so I think one thing I've learned is that, I can sit with these real human emotions. I think that's another thing too. It's like, we're all dealing with it. We're all have our plane crash moment, and maybe it's not as dramatic as that, but it's something that has truly affected us at a deep psychological, emotional level. And we might not feel comfortable talking about it. We might not feel able to share this with other people. And so I learned that not only is there space for it in this world, but that we can achieve more than we even think possible from an emotional depth. I think I tend to think about it this way too. I come from a guy's perspective, and I know it's tough for men to do this, but I think in a lot of ways it's tough for everybody, but, being a guy and leaning more into this idea of sharing your emotions and sharing what's going on behind the veil of your face is a powerful thing. And I again realize that this can help a lot of people. And that, I think, is another thing that I learned from this, just based on, the messages and voicemail and emails and comments that I've been getting from all of you, which again is just truly a blessing. It's far beyond what I could have imagined, but I have learned that there is power in us being honest and in being open and being vulnerable. All these things that I was so scared to show most of my life, and through this crazy, tragic, traumatic accident, it unlocked something in me. And I hope that you don't have to go through something that I went through to unlock this in yourself, to at least open up to that friend you may not have that, really will benefit your life and benefit your relationship by just just leaning into it a little bit by expressing this, or, maybe reaching out to a therapist. I've always liked to speak about it in a way that's like a physical therapist. You may not know how to use every machine in the gym, but somebody just showing you a little bit of the correct form allows you to kind of build your body up better and stronger because you have the fundamentals in place. So I would encourage you to do that. And then if there's anything else I learned is that there's just a lot of amazing people out there. Again, seeing the comments and the social media and all that, man, so many of you are so incredible. And I just feel like I learned so much from all of you out there. I don't think I can ever stop learning from these conversations and from my amazing guests, but also you viewers and listeners, you have these amazing perspectives that I think the world truly needs to hear. And again, your story is probably completely different than mine. And yet I know it can touch people in these amazing ways. And I don't think I'm that special by any means, but I do think by leaning into good things for the world, we can start making differences. We can change the world for good. And it sounds over the top. It sounds dramatic, but I do believe that. And I know that if it feels that way for me, and if I feel like I can affect the small world around me, I know that you can do it too. One of the things I want to make clear, though, is that just because we're wrapping up with May and Mental Health Awareness Month is coming to a close, it doesn't stop there. Just because the last day of the month ends, it is something we will continuously have to work on. I know I will. It's going to be something that I'm going to have to constantly improve and work on the rest of my life. And I'm happy to do it. I feel blessed that I get the opportunity to take on this challenge, to be on a journey of constant improvement, to be on a journey of knowing that I'll never reach perfection, but yet it is still a goal that is worth pursuing. And so we, in general, I think for all of us, will have our ups and downs. Yeah, sure, I'm feeling great this month, but maybe next month I won't. There's going to be dips. There's going to be shoots to the moon, and all of that's going to be great. But to find what's true for us, to find what works for us, all of that is a never-ending journey. And I want to be there to help support you and to help maybe shine a little light on what other people are going through, so that when you get to your dark moments, you know that you can get out of it too. So the fight continues, and it's a worthy fight. And I just look forward to being on this journey with all of you. So what is coming up in the future? Man, there's so many things I still want to do. I feel like we've just scratched the surface. I meet more amazing people all the time that I am floored by their stories. Man, we have episodes coming out past this that I'm so excited to get out to you guys. People from all walks of life and all different kinds of traumatic incidents or things that they've had to overcome that are just incredible. It is a constant source of inspiration. There's so many things I want to do also in the places where I live, kind of growing San Diego and growing a community in Southern California, and really just, the West Coast and the world in general, but also connecting with more people in Hawaii, where I'm from. I think mental health takes a completely different path out there, and I look forward to the opportunities to engage in that. There's so many businesses and communities and other things out there that I want to be involved with too. And I look forward to all of your input, but the guests, and truthfully, I'm going to throw it out there at some moment. I want to do a TED Talk. I want to be able to kind of share some of the insights that I have. I would love that opportunity. I want to partner up with other businesses to speak on more stages, to connect with you guys in person, do some live events, to be able to hear feedback from you in real time, in real life. These are things that are definitely on the horizon, and we're working towards it. And I can't wait to bring it all over to you guys. I just can't wait to bring it to you. So I'm going to leave with this. again, mahalo. Thank you so much for the support for the show for these first 3 months. It has been an incredible, life-changing experience, and I just feel so lucky, blessed, all the above to see this thing grow and take a life of its own. We are going to keep this baby growing as strong and as fast and just try to keep up with it as much as we can. But I'm going to try to keep being vulnerable, keep bringing on amazing guests that are and that have, I think, this amazing, wonderful insight to share with all of you. But yes, part of that too is helping this podcast grow. We need all the support we can get. So I know that it's only been 3 months, and I know all of you showed up in amazing ways for that first month, but we need it just as much now as we did at the start. And so please, if you find someone that could use that inspiration, you can tell that they're maybe struggling with their own mental health. They have their own tough situation, their black hole. They don't know how they're going to get out of it, or they don't, all the daily life pressures are adding up on them, and they can just use, again, a little bit of that inspiration. Maybe hear something that can give them a tool that they can put in their tool bag for life and then overcome these situations. All of that is dependent on you helping to share that. Please comment, please drop the emails. Reviews are vital. They are the lifeblood for this podcast and for all podcasts. Let your favorite creators, podcasters, all of them know what their content does for you. You can't even imagine how it fuels us and how it just kind of gives us a little boost to keep doing what we're doing. And so, I just want to encourage you to do that. And also the last bit is to take care of yourself. Whatever your trauma, your painful moment is, lean into it. Don't push away from it. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to hide it in a dark corner in your mind. That monster will pop up eventually. It will come get you. And I just want you to have the tools and the strength to do it, because I know where I was at my lowest moments. And I think, man, if I can do it, there was nothing special about my healing process or what I overcome. There was nothing special about it. It was just one day at a time. It was one honest conversation at a time. It was one me pushing back against a negative thought or trying to change my perspective that got me to this position. And I'm nowhere near done, but I know that I'm a lot better off than where I was at the start of my accident. So you keep healing, you keep finding those avenues that are going to enrich your life, that are going to get you to a mentally and emotionally better place. And we at the Sick Burn Podcast are going to be here to support you together. So thank you so much if you've stuck around through this episode so far. And if you've enjoyed this, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, which we greatly appreciate, and share this episode with someone who could use a little inspiration. Follow us on all the socials at Sick Burn Pod and stay up to date on upcoming episodes, weekly inspiration, and behind the scenes content. Join us next time as we continue to explore more incredible stories of overcoming adversity and finding the bright side of life's darkest moments. Aloha.